What's going on, everyone? It's your host, Daniel Litwin, the voice of B2B, coming at you from Premio's booth at the Venetian Expo in Las Vegas for ISC West 2023. We've been covering one of the premier trade shows for the security and public safety industry today. I've been here all day with the Premio team, and we've been breaking down some of the biggest trends that are shaping the security and the surveillance industry. We've been talking shop on the technologies that are powering the next era of Industry 4.0 powered security solutions. And we've been connecting the dots with how rugged edge computing is supporting these innovative use cases. So we've had a full day of content coverage, and now we're gonna do a debrief panel with the Premio team to get their thoughts on the successes of the show, some takeaways now that we've had 2 full days of the show under our belt, and again, further connect the dots, with how Premio's rugged edge computing solutions are supporting some of the major trends that we've seen here at the show. So let's go ahead and introduce our 3 guests. Joining me today for insights are Mr. Kenneth Hau, Regional Sales Manager for Premio. We've got John Lam, VP of Sales for Premio, and Mr. Dustin Seetoo, Director of Product Marketing for Premio. How you guys doing?
Wow, it's been kind of a whirlwind.
Yeah.
Trade shows are kind of like marathons, but really, why do we do the trade shows? It takes a lot of energy and resources, but really, you have to be that thought leadership for a lot of the customers and partners, right? We are a leader in this space, and we really want to drive the next level of innovation for our core products and our capabilities. And we are here to showcase, number one, most importantly, our industrial grade computing designs that fit into key specific markets, security and surveillance, and how we do things differently from a capability standpoint for rugged edge computing. So a lot of our continuous thought leadership in the past year really kind of drives home back into the trade show and really allows us to be present, to really showcase our products and really discuss with customers and partners how our computing solutions can really solve their problems at the edge.
So I want to start by just getting y'all's thoughts on post-show. Basically, I know all of y'all have answered in some form or fashion why ISC West is an important trade show for Premio and for the security industry, but now that we've had some fresh conversations and we've gotten a better sense for what the major trends are that are shaping the industry in 2023, how has that answer evolved, right? What do you see as maybe some of the newer reasons why ISC West is so valuable for Premio and for the industry?
We've been coming to the show, right, for the past couple of years, and each year we've learned so much from that show. But one major topic that continually evolves is the ability to leverage that data, use that data for a lot of these new trends of edge analytics, right? Edge analytics is heavily dictated by a lot of the data that's trained in the cloud. But that decentralization of that data is now moving into a place where it's often harsh, it's rugged, and that's where Premio has defined its position for our core products.
Right.
And in industrial grade computing, our goal is to deliver a reliable, trusted solution that's able to be pushed into these extremes, communicate with these IoT sensors, and really push forward the next level of edge compute. I think one thing that continually will grow is accelerated computing. I think one major trend that I've seen this year is the ability of all these newer age acceleration modules that are looking to partner with core industrial computing technologies to really drive home a new level of edge AI or analytics. And we are in the age of AI. Bill Gates talked about in his blog, Gates News, specifically we're the dawn of age AI. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang talked about how we are at the iPhone moment for AI. So we are part of that ecosystem. We only will focus kind of on our engineering and design of our industrial computers. But again, it's our goal to really put together the transformative technologies that we have and really push those into these newer markets.
Any thoughts from y'all on, again, how ISC West has, maybe your perception on the show has evolved after another 2 days of fresh insights and conversations with folks here at the show?
Sure, I can go next. So just from my conversations with all the various folks that I've met at this show, both outside and also coming to our booth, we see an increasing number of customers who are looking for more and more technology in that space, more and more processing, both in the AI space, AI aspect as Dustin mentioned, but also even in things like camera management, right? They're looking for an integrated unit that has the kind of capabilities that they need to manage and monitor all the various sensors and cameras and whatnot. So with our modularity as a core design in our systems, it gives them that flexibility to be able to scale up to that need. Yeah.
Well, definitely the ISC is one of the very dominant show of the whole entire year of Premio. So we are very excited and happy to be here every year to see old faces, old customers, and come from around the world. And they might be in North America, South America, even Europe, and some of them are come from Asia. So and the trend we are seeing is definitely the technology is evolving. There's a lot of emerging sensors, technology, high definitions, chasing more quality, more performance sensors, connectivities, as well as the customers, the application also evolving. So I think as a Premio, as a hardware manufacturer, and to providing the solution, we have to somehow align with this trend. So we have to be able to adapt and accommodate the trend, the market trend. So our engineering team is working day and night and to how to streamline and to bring all this big idea into deployable solutions. So that's why we're here every year. So come visit us, and you have not been here, and you should be able to often.
Love it. And again, if folks miss any of our content from the show, or they aren't able to come by our booth while they're at the show, they can get all caught up on our website, premioinc.com. Again, that's premioinc.com. So just to continue down this conversation path, were there any new topics of conversation that surprised Premio this year? Questions that end users asked on, or that you saw represented at the show that actually kind of caught you by surprise that was such a focus this year?
Yeah, so in our space of industrial edge compute, you kind of believe, all the major leaders in our space are talking about edge compute and how you're moving a lot of those workloads away from the cloud. You're doing more cloud native environments and more edge specific containerized, virtualized solutions. For me, I think the biggest takeaway and the trend that I was actually interested in here is a lot of people still believe that a lot of the processing needs to be done in the cloud. And that's by no means a wrong type of way of an approach, but if you look at how the data needs to be processed for specific applications, there are specific trends that a lot of market research and market analysts have actually dictated. So for example, Gartner has said in multiple researches that 75% of data is going to be processed outside the cloud and at the edge. And I continuously use that statistic because it's a very important statistic to show that there's a reason why all that data needs to be processed away from the cloud, right? The cloud still can be used, but why it needs to be used and for what application specifically it needs to be used. But if you move that data closer to all these IoT sensors, this is where you're able to do the manipulation, the intelligence. And we've been showing that in the past few days at our show with multiple partners with the sensor technology, specifically security and surveillance, and the technology of inference detection, right? So whether it is a high resolution camera, we can move that AI model closer to where it sits, use a compute heavy box, do the localization and processing local in the box, and provide applications specifically for object detection, people counting, right? Crowd management, right? This also ties into a lot of LiDAR technology. We have the leader of 3D LiDAR technology here in our booth to showcase how their 3D sensing mapping is using LiDAR technology funneling into a compute-heavy box. So I think it's been an amazing show to really showcase newer applications for security and surveillance.
And from the conversations y'all have had on the sales side of things, again, any new topics of conversation, anything that kind of caught you off guard that you weren't totally expecting to be such a focus here at the show, but that has been sitting with you and sparking some thoughts?
Yeah, so I'm not sure about catching off guard, but I was excited to see that there were a lot of interest in the demos that we have in our booth, both with our AI inferencing units, with our Edge Boost IOs, and with our partner Ouster, who is demonstrating their LiDAR technology. So I think having those concrete use cases on display at our booth really kind of helps contextualize concrete applications of our computers to potential customers and people who are in the industry, meaning they see not just our unit sitting in a vacuum, but how can this be used in real world applications. So it was, I think it's just brought a new level of excitement to our conversations, and having that ability to demonstrate to our potential partners.
Yeah, I think the market trend is definitely it's going to be more hybrid mode. There's no single application can be edge only or cloud only nowadays. So we are seeing the trend is more to be hybrids. It's a mixture of both, and we're definitely seeing this is still in a rapidly growing stage. People are looking for solution, or they still are finalizing or fine-tuning the optimal solution, and that's why Premio can play the role is to help selecting and recommending and designing, customizing the more optimal solutions to the applications.
Yeah, and to add to John's point, I think one of the major takeaways that I've kind of paid attention to and observed a lot of the customer use case and why they've appreciated working with Premio or appreciated a specific product feature of Premio is for three key reasons, And these are, product is rugged, it's also fanless, and it's modular. Those three things, you'd be surprised, right? We talk about rugged edge computing on a day-to-day basis, but just the product being hardened and tested, with the standard certifications with FCC, CE, even the UL from a safety standpoint, those things from an off-the-shelf perspective to take the product, accelerate it into the market is what we do day in and day out, right? And these customers rely on off-the-shelf solutions to run their applications. And on top of that, the ruggedization of the product is another core capability of Premio, what we try to do, right? So everything from the design of how thermal is managed, right? Wide temperature, shock and vibration, how power moves in and out of the box, right? Those things, what really defines who Premio is, our engineering skill set, and really how we can go to market at mass scale with our industrial portfolio of computers.
Something I want to follow up on that Ken brought up is that there was a lot of interest in your partners' product demos here at the booth. And a trend that I heard a lot that really stood out to me this year was an emphasis and an acknowledgement and a desire for more collaboration across the industry. I think Premio's booth is a perfect example of that in action. Obviously, right, Premio's here showcasing its rugged edge computing solutions, but sometimes it's hard to fully understand, what can this actually achieve for me? So seeing that in practice with cutting edge digital LiDAR and a spatial intelligence software that visualizes those data points in real time, that is not only a useful way to encapsulate what Premio's rugged edge computing solutions can accomplish, but I think it encapsulates that ethos that I heard at the show, which is collaboration is going to be key. There needs to be focused sort of interoperability, compatibility between various devices, and an intentional desire to link with other players in the industry to develop quality solutions. While that may sound like, we want to have the competitive edge and be the brand that leads in this space, I think most folks in the industry are realizing that to fully serve the needs of the security, surveillance, public safety communities, you have to understand that you're just one piece of a larger ecosystem, especially in this Industry 4.0 era. So I'm curious y'all's thoughts on that. Is that something that y'all heard as well?
Definitely. What we are seeing is the real life application getting more complicated than ever. It's more complex than ever. So I think the mastering skill set for Premio is to really how to consolidate all this available technology in the market and to collaborate and to consolidate them into a deployable solutions. I think that's a skill set and our specialties for the last 33 years. So we keep doing this on a day-to-day basis. We're very happy to engage with the multiple major manufacturer into technologies provider like that. And so, in other words, to make it simple, we try to make the complex world to turn into very simple. So the solution has to be very adaptable, effective, efficient, and not just useful, but also getting smarter and really to make the real life decision at the edge level.
Yeah, and another trend I want to highlight that stood out to me and that is very related to what Premio is doing, is synergy between the cloud and edge computing. Definitely, cloud solutions were dominant at the show this year. Everyone is trying to bring their version of a cloud ecosystem to support a very niche side of the market. But even in speaking with those folks, I heard, either because I asked them directly, because hey, I'm here on behalf of Premio, right? Or because it just kind of came up naturally in conversation, that the cloud serves its purpose, but is relying on a lot of data and analysis captured at the edge, processed at the edge, and then sent off to the cloud for any further needs or analysis. So I'm curious how y'all saw that represented at the show this year. Not necessarily a competition between is edge better than cloud or cloud better than edge, but that synergy between the two. How are they complementing each other?
The major theme when you talk about cloud and edge is really the IT to OT convergence, right? So when we talk about the IT to OT convergence of technology, IT traditional technology are these robust, high performance data center type of computing racks that are all designed for high performance.
Right.
But how do you have that synergy and interaction with the OT technology? And OT technology is the operational technology that sits closer to where things are actually happening. And how I define OT technology is a lot of sensors, nodes, right? That are the situational awareness of the eyes that are bringing in the data. And I think that's the beauty of the industry of where we're in. We have computer vision. Computer vision is technology that can basically leverage all this data, bring that into some type of edge compute platform, analyze that data, and now pre-process that data, give it an analytics, maybe store that data, and now move it back up to IT technology, right? So it's that balance of both IT and OT convergence happening in real time, leveraging a lot of AI models, right? Able to do real-time decision making, real-time inference. And I think that synergy and relationship between both the cloud and edge, it's gonna have ebbs and flows, but really, truly, you need to look at the application and who you're talking to about that application, and the workloads are going to always move. But the beauty of the ecosystem, that you mentioned, is that you have solutions that can communicate back and forth, right? And specifically, what Premio does is we have the ability to move a lot of our computing solutions closer to the edge, ruggedized, right? Reliable, modular. And this is what allows our customers to be scalable, flexible, and win for their business.
Yeah, definitely the big data getting bigger and bigger. So I think it's a consolidation in the hybrid mode I mentioned earlier, that the cloud, it's a complement to working with the edge together. They have to go hand in hand. If you're missing one or the other, it's not like comprehensive solutions. They are worried about there's a backup and things like that. So I think it's a complementary.
Yeah, just to echo that, both what Dustin and John said, I've talked to a lot of folks in the show who is excited to see our box solutions, our box PCs, and they love that we have all these different processing power, but they also ask, well, what do you have in terms of connectivity? Well, we have 4G and 5G solution, and we're going to continue having that because it's not a zero-sum game at the end of the day, right? You have the cloud has its place, computing has its place, and we're happy to play nice with each other, right? And depending on the needs of the customer, some customers, they need a lot of processing horsepower. Sometimes they only need a little bit of computing power, and they're basically uploading or using it as IoT gateway to the cloud, and we're able to accommodate both sides.
Yeah, and I think to echo is from a design principle, we offer a wide portfolio of computing products that can be used at each level of that edge compute. Right. So, it's our job to evaluate the market needs and provide a computer that can process that.
All right, I think that's enough for the high-level trends. I want to now focus in a little bit more on Premio and on why folks are being drawn to Premio, right? Based on the conversations you've had, but also just to reiterate for our audience, really the value proposition that Premio brings to the security and surveillance industry. So this is mostly for my two sales guys here, but Dustin, feel free to chime in. Why do customers come to Premio for their industrial computers, right? Traditionally, but then also based on the conversations you've had today, maybe some of the new reasons why you think folks are going to be coming to y'all for that ruggedized and capable edge computing solution?
First of all, because of the great people who are at this company.
Hey, there it is.
Right. So that's number one. But yeah, on a product standpoint, people are excited to see solutions which meet their need for security and surveillance industry. So a few things that I've heard. They love that we offer very wide temperature support, operating temperature support. When we tell them we go up to 70 degrees Celsius, they love that. When I show them for example, our SIO staying still on one unit, I have folks who are saying, if I only knew about this 2 years ago, it would save me a lot of work and having to build this myself or something similar myself. So we have, we keep repeating the rugged edge. And I think in this industry, more so than others, this is especially important because surveillance and security are needed in a wide variety of environments. And a lot of them are, they're very honest with me. They're being deployed in harsh environments in, not room temperature, climate controlled places. So I think that's a very key point for why they are attracted to our units.
Yeah, I would say there will be three major elements to attracting customers, regardless they are existing or new customers. I mean, number one is they had to choose a long-term reliable partner, and we have been headquartered in Los Angeles for the last 33 years. And moving forward, I think that's the number one foundation. They do want to buy from America company, headquartered here, local support, logistic service in here. So that's the number one. Number two, they are looking for some product offering which is close enough to meeting their go-to-market quickly. They might not be 100% meeting the requirement, but let's say 80%, and then the remaining, the last element would be the capability. They're definitely looking for, are we able to engineering or consolidate their existing or backward compatible to supporting legacy support, and also how to moving forward with the new technology. How do we integrate the new technology, which is they never even heard of, such as our 3D LiDAR sensors? There's the first time they've seen this today. So I think those three elements will enable us to be as a qualified long-term, hardware solution partner.
Sure. And what would you say are some of the key challenges that your customers today are facing in adapting to some of the realities, the demands of deploying solutions that are compatible with this Industry 4.0 era? And how is Premio working to stay one step ahead of resolving those challenges?
One of the major challenges really is you have to understand a lot of these customers have bigger goals, and compute is not their expertise.
Yeah, right.
Right. So
it's usually a means to an end.
Yeah. So you think of it this way, we are a system component into a bigger portion. So we have a lot of customers, they sell machines that are $250,000 to $500,000, right? So our computer is a BOM item in that, but it's the brains of that network. So the challenge is okay, we need to run this workload, we need to have this IO, we need to run this type of connectivity. Where do I start, right? And I think to answer that previous question, why do people choose Premio Industrial Computers? It's the legacy, and it's the knowledge and the expertise that we've built across in the last 30 plus years, right? And those 30 plus years, our engineering team, working with customers, really understanding our core capabilities in x86 compute design, really reduces that time to market extremely fast. If we don't have a product in our standard portfolio that doesn't meet your demands, we definitely 100% can design something for you, right? Another major part of our business is the custom ODM design. Yeah. And you'd be surprised that a lot of these customers appreciate that type of capability because you're able to design something with compute architecture to fit their exact needs, right? But again, why do we have a standard offering is really to reduce that time to market, something that they can plug and play very quickly, right? And we can do that with manufacturing scale. Not only are we focused in the engineering design, don't forget Premio has a full 150,000 square foot manufacturing facility in Los Angeles, California, right? We're ISO certified for medical devices, and we have all the ISOs for quality. Package that all together, we're a player in this industry, yeah, right? For 33 years, and as technology continues to grow from the cloud out to the edge, our designs are gonna get stronger. We're gonna be more robust with our technology. We're gonna have better partnerships. And with that, we're gonna have an explosive, tremendous amount of growth in year over year. And we've seen this at the show in the last 2 years. I mean, at the show alone, we have over I would say over 10 plus customers showcasing our industrial computing and their solutions.
That's so cool. Yeah.
So I'm happy for the sales team because they're the ones out there, talking and building the applications. So at the end of the day, from a product marketing standpoint, as long as I can say built rugged, built ready for our computers, I'm happy.
Yeah.
So I believe one of the biggest challenge, and always this challenge, I don't think will go away, is really the balance between the business perspective versus the engineering perspective. They both might have two different objectives and two different goals. The engineering always will chase for the fastest and latest, versus the business may also want to go to the market quickly to capture the revenues. So I think there's a balance here. How can we help them to realize those are too good to be true? And how do we maybe break it down to phases, and so that we don't slow them down to the market, but they also can continuously in parallel developing their business as they grow with us. So I think that's the challenge. That's the skill set we trying to. Of course, we cannot fulfill every single project out there, but as Dustin mentioned, we do pretty well, good number of projects, and with that mindset we just mentioned, and we communicate. We have to sit down with customers, dissect the details on each project's requirements. Some of that's maybe too good to be true and wish list. We need to help them to understand which is really not realistic today, and how do we really go to the market quickly without losing the opportunity to their competitors. So that's the value we help provide here.
We've brought this up in some of our other conversations, but any real world applications that y'all can use to kind of encapsulate everything you just broke down, where Premio has helped solve some of those specific challenges in the security and surveillance industry.
Sure. So I can reference one of the partners that we have present at the show. They are basically a manufacturer of certain security cameras.
Okay.
And they were looking for a partner to provide a computer that can survive in a lot of rugged environments. They deploy these cameras international, overseas, in the US, in Africa, South America, et cetera, et cetera. And so they were looking not only for a system that was powerful enough to run the solution, but also compact enough to fit into their architecture, but also to be able to have the kind of robust supply chain that can supply them in the volume that they need on the schedule that they need, because that's also an important part, right? We're delivering a physical, tangible product. And they have told me repeatedly that they're very happy with the way we've managed our supply chain to them, and that's a very key selling point.
Yeah, we're also helping the world leader in terms of the airport security. For all the luggage check point, every single luggage go through the luggage checkpoint. Every one of that very likely has our computer in there. So definitely it will go globally, and we're happy to engage and for many decades, and we keep helping them to revising the next generation, refresh, and very possibly integrating with newer technology, newer sensors, smaller footprints. Of course, at the end of the day, they also need to be cost effective as well. So I think that's why Premio's value is really providing there.
Yeah, I would add to that. I think from a real world use case, so I come from more of a technology standpoint. I mean, that's definitely customer use case, but from a technology, I would like to kind of share what the market was kind of dictating in terms of using traditional GPU acceleration to kind of drive a lot of that inference detection, which I've mentioned multiple times is very counterintuitive to our design principle, right? We pride ourselves in the last 30 plus years for rugged, fanless type of designs that doesn't use active cooling. But for security and surveillance, there was that demand to use GPUs to run their AI workloads. And we were able to meet that demand, right? We made a very quick change in our product design. We made it modular. We introduced our Edge Boost nodes. These Edge Boost nodes do use GPU technology. They use NVMe storage. And that allows the customer to be scalable and flexible to meet their workload, right? And we're at that change again, right? And a lot of the challenges and use cases that I'm hearing are, the GPU is great, but now we're having these thermal issues, right? Now I want to move it into an environment that is wide temperature and the GPU might fail, right? So as an industrial computer manufacturer and engineering capabilities, you have to look at that and digest that. And one major new technology that we as Rugged Edge Computers is pushing is M2 acceleration. Okay. And one thing new that we were able to do is break that down into our Edge Boost IO modules. And that Edge Boost IO modules eliminate the need for a powerful active cooled GPU and really scales these edge AI TPU accelerators. And that taps into the trend that I saw, specifically for this show. We have so many new companies that are coming up with edge AI accelerators. And the question I keep in my mind is why? Why are so many companies trying to figure out ways to manage workloads at a high TOPS, lower TDP, right? And that is what I think will continuously grow and build the acceleration from hardware combined with the software to create that symbiotic relationship for performance compute for security and surveillance.
Premio has done such a good job at sourcing the right hardware to always stay one step ahead of where that industry demand is going to be at, right? You've got the latest in Intel processing, you have edge AI inferencing capacity, all your edge boost IO modules help create that flexible future-proofed modularity for your solutions. Just to wrap up here, are there any other hardware technologies that you want to hit on that you think really highlight how Premio is trying to stay one step ahead of Industry 4.0's surveillance needs? And how do you see those continuing to give you all that resiliency to grow alongside the industry?
Yeah, I can answer that. I think at the end of the day, we all love compute.
Yes, we do.
And compute has so many different form factors. Compute has so many different technologies. But as a core leader in x86 computing, we have a wide breadth of product portfolios in that. But that doesn't mean Premio doesn't have the knowledge or capabilities into the newer technologies. It just means we're more market observant, right? We're kind of waiting to see where the market is moving. We are familiar with the ARM technology. We are familiar with the NVIDIA Jetson stuff. So that is all in our roadmap and our planning, right? But really, it's where the market is moving, right? And positioning and having that timing with that specific product to have a wide portfolio of industrial edge compute with the latest and greatest semiconductor silicon and technologies combined with wireless connectivity to really now, like we talked about, have the IT to OT convergence from the cloud all the way to the edge to deliver the best industrial computers that we think we can provide.
I don't think I could have said it any better. I definitely couldn't have. That's all you. All right, I think on that note, we'll go ahead and wrap up our panel. I feel like we've had such a successful day, talking shop on so many layers of how Premio is integrating with this phase of the security and surveillance industry's evolution. So I really appreciate all of you sitting down with me today many times and let me pick your brains on how you see Premio playing a current and a future outsized role in supporting this Industry 4.0 era for public safety. So again, we've been chatting with the Premio team here. I'd like to go ahead and thank again Mr. Kenneth Hau, Regional Sales Manager for Premio, John Lam, VP of Sales for Premio, and Dustin Seetoo, Director of Product Marketing for Premio. It's been such a pleasure getting to see how Premio is built rugged and built ready for this industry and for what's to come. So make sure that you head to our website, premioinc.com. Again, that's premioinc.com for all of our content from ISC West 2023, but also to better understand our suite of products and stay up to date on future solutions and future upgrades to our systems. I'm your host, Daniel Litwin, the voice of B2B, and we'll catch you on the next piece of content here out of Premio and ISC West 2023.